Hey everyone, this is James from TeaDB bringing you another Inbetweenisode. Today's Inbetweenisode, I'm going to be talking a bit about how to punch above your weight and really stretch out the dollar, especially if you are someone new to tea and looking to explore, specifically in kind of the poor space. And so I did write this article on TeaDB, so if you are more interested in reading kind of my general thoughts on it there, go check out that article there. I think it's, it just kind of focuses on different things you can do in ways, especially if you are on a budget and you don't want to spend, thousands of dollars immediately on tea in trying different things, then I think there are some useful tips and tricks that I'm going to talk about in this video to do that. And so I think the number one thing to do is really to get connected with other like-minded people. And I think the easiest way to do that these days is Discord. And there are really two big Discords. There's community and there's the tea table. There are differences between them. Some people have certain things they don't like about individual ones, but they both have pretty lively, active communities. I think probably the tastes overlap a little more than either one would care to admit, but they do have somewhat different cultures to them too. I'd recommend joining both, and eventually you can join in these different Discords, a secondary marketplace like Marketplace, where you can buy, trade, sell, swap stuff. And this is really useful and helpful. One of the problems and the more challenging parts with Pu'er is the unit, which is often a cake. And a cake, the standard weight is something like 357 grams. So depending on how you calculate it, that could be anywhere from 40 to 70 sessions with the tea. So in other words, it's quite a lot of one different tea. And so you can accumulate tea quite quickly, or you could just be kind of hampered and be like, if you only have 3 cakes, you're forced to drink those 3 again and again. And maybe you don't want to have a tea 60 times. Maybe you want to just have it 20 times. So these Discords are really useful in giving you access to secondary market where you can trade out teas. You can sell half a cake. You can say, hey, I really want to try these different teas, but I don't really want full cakes. So you can get involved in splits. You can buy different samples off people. So it's a really useful way to get around kind of the inherent limitations of the unit size being 357 grams. One of the things I recommend is just people get a lot of different repetitions with different types of tea. There's a lot of people that are very generous in these Discords, especially to newcomers, in terms of just sending out different teas and whatnot. Sometimes it's totally free of charge. Obviously, that's not something you can count on. It's certainly helpful if you are willing to spend a bit of money. But these communities, there are people that are legitimately interested in helping people to get educated. They have been there maybe just a few months before, or maybe a few years before. And there are teas that they are happy to give away or to trade that would be very educational for newer drinkers. In coming and sort of getting reinvigorated and moving back into the tea world, I was struck especially by the amount of people that were able to not accumulate very much, but were able to try a lot of the higher, more notable high-end pu'ers, so stuff like Bian Hao or some of the fancy Yangqing Hao cakes. And, maybe those people don't like it in the end, but it's a lot better to not like it after you have acquired something like 20 grams rather than a big 500-gram cake. So I've been impressed with the amount of tea that people have been able to try without actually accumulating too much and forcing themselves to drink through entire cakes of things. So a lot of it is just get connected with people and be willing to split and just sort of plug yourself in. Secondary market is also great because you're in general going to get, better prices. People have to knock down the price because why not? You might as well just buy it from a vendor otherwise. So it's also a good place to kind of get good deals and whatnot. Definitely a great place to just try a lot of different tea and, be able to discuss certain teas as well. Like, hey, I really like the 2005 8582 504. How is the other batch of this? How's it compare with the 2006? There are people with lots of experience that can help to chime in and guide you towards different recommendations and whatnot. It could definitely be a way to incite FOMO, but it's also a way that you can, help to curb your spending too. I think a lot of it is how you interact and how you end up using the Discord. So yeah, shout outs to those different Discords. If I remember, which I probably won't, I will try to link those into the description too. So remind me if I didn't, and I will get that out there. So thank you all for tuning in. Let me know how you like this episode. Let me know if you agree or disagree, and I will see y'all next time.